Was being an Allied World War II fighter pilot the comfiest job in the history of all warfare? Lighting up targets that can't fight back and then coming back to base for ice cream must have been comfy. Fighter. Douglas A-20 was a light bomber. Low-level bombing and close air support sorties are probably the most dangerous aerial combat missions. Fight back? No idea what you mean. Fighter aircraft or bomber aircraft? In World War II fighter combat, aerial adversaries were dogfighting with each other. Not really. By Allied, I mean British and American pilots who had absurd kill ratios. Being an American fighter pilot in the early stages of the war was pretty shit. Wildly outclassed by the Zero in the Pacific. Planes are so slow and heavy the British can barely be fucked to use them, and the ones that kinda work have fatal design flaws like locking controls during a dive. Moronic daylight bombing into radar-directed flak and no escort into BF-109s and FW-190s. Flown by pilots with hundreds of kills. It's late war Allied fighter in England for me. Axis already crushed. Comfy officer life in England, alcohol and whores. Low chance of enemy encounters since Axis have no planes or fuel left and they prioritized attacking bombers. Cool views every mission for 10 kilometers up over devastated Europe for 2 hours and back to comfiness in the officer quarters. Closest thing to comfy would have been the FW200 spotting convoys for the Wolfpacks, since they were too high up to be effectively countered. For the Allies, that would be the ASW patrols in the PBY or Sunderland, the latter having amenities like a small kitchen and toilet, though submarines weren't exactly defenseless. There's also a fine line between comfy and mind-numbingly boring. Uncomfortable, unpressurized cockpit. 30% chance of dying from mechanical failure or accident. People shoot at you. Probably not very comfy. Being a code breaker or something would have been comfy. Nah, there were comfy pilot jobs. My grandfather was a navigator in a Mosquito Reef Squadron. They would use radios and flares to guide the bomber streams onto the targets at night. 2 years of flying over Germany and the Balkans, and he only saw combat once when a German night fighter made a single pass on them and missed completely. Almost never flak or AA either, as they would operate in small groups so were usually undetected. In return, he got to mooch around southern Italy for a year and was one of the first to be demobilized and sent home, where he almost immediately got a well-paying job with British Airways. Which was great because before the war he was a store clerk without a degree. Pretty comfy in my opinion. This isn't even bait, it's just ironic shitposting. Only if you ignore being squeezed into a cockpit with zero elbow room for hours at a time at freezing cold altitudes on the world's most insufficient cushion. Lighting up targets that can't fight back? No. If you were in a fighter plane, you'd be trying to shoot down other fighters or bombers. And then come back to base for ice cream. Only if you're an American. Having ice cream was a US flex. What bourgeois nonsense is that? Welcome to the Eastern Front of July 1941, comrade pilot. Here, Tulip picks you. If I had to pick a comfy yet thrilling aviation position, certainly the only coherent choice is flying the hump. Biggest enemy is Mother Earth and Mother Nature. Flyby shootings with a bar. Early happening of Caesar. Slamming poo nanny when you land. Depends when and where. Fighting in France, Britain, or the Med against the Luftwaffe early to mid-war sure as fuck wasn't comfy.
About you will carry me through to heaven. I'm in heaven. My heart beats so that I can hardly